Let's call this meeting to order. It is 7:03. First order of business, review the minutes.
Yes.
Did anybody have any corrections, comments?
They look good to me. But
Yeah, the minutes look good.
Good job, Grace.
Thank you.
Very complete.
Well, does anybody want a motion?
I'll motion to approve minutes.
approve your minutes. I'll second it.
Dan will second.
Thanks,
Great.
Dan.
The minutes are approved for posting. Great. All right. News about Concord Farms and Farmers. What's going on, everybody?
We got a light pole.
Wait, what?
What?
So all of our everything that we have at the farm stand is run from extension cords from the main farmhouse.
Oh,
Oh,
And everything, you can't have everything going at one time. If not, we blow the fuse. So we decided to get a pole to move the electricity, so we're not dependent on everything coming from the farmhouse anymore. Cause we also have to upgrade a cooler and get other things going, and we just didn't, just don't have the power.
wow. So that's a big upgrade.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
That's big news.
Hey, finally.
There we
Hey,
go.
Steve.
Hey, Steve.
I think Emily joined too.
Great.
There
I
she
had
is.
to plow through a mess of cookies getting in, did you?
What happened?
I had to plow through a mess of cookie questions.
Oh no, I didn't know.
Oh, no.
I got really excited, Steve. I thought you said cookies. All right.
yeah.
Oh, Lois is joining us too. All right. Look at this turnout. Wow.
Lois.
Awesome. Well, we were just talking about news about Concord Farms and Farmers. If anybody's got anything exciting.
No,
Or
we had a
not.
little rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're flooded.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that someone has overlooked sending out a notice that Chip Putas's wife died.
Oh no. That's
Yes,
sad.
I discovered that.
Yes, thanks to Emily.
Yeah, I mean it's been several weeks now.
Oh no.
What was that?
Chip's wife died.
Oh,
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
That's
Yeah.
awful.
Her obituary is on the D Funeral Home website,
Oh,
but it's been a few weeks.
Oh.
huh.
I didn't. She was young.
Chip's wife died.
I
She's
don't
been
know.
having issues for a long time.
I see.
Oh, that's sad.
Did they have a service?
Yes,
They've already had it.
They already had it. Oh, that's
They
good.
had it right away, didn't they?
I
Yeah.
believe, yes.
I think. Yeah, I learned about it after the service.
That's very sad.
Yeah, I was talking to him. He was over a couple of weeks ago. Must have been right after that.
Mm.
Sorry, I totally missed this. Steve, were you talking about cookies?
Yeah,
What are the emails about cookies?
there was a bunch.
No, it's Zoom.
Logging in, I had to get through a bunch of questions.
Oh, sorry. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm thinking
Oh,
cookies.
That was my-
computer cookies.
There's a special on cookies at Vero Farm.
I'm
Yes,
there.
rain, and more rain.
Yeah.
We very generously, Hutchins lent us their ripper last year, and nature said, you can rip this as much as you want. It's not going to last for more than a few weeks.
Never mind. The whole thing's going underwater.
Right. Things in the greenhouse.
Yeah,
What
we
are- what-
started. Onions are in our greenhouse. We started the onions.
Right.
Yeah, we got scallions and spinach going,
Yeah.
flowers.
Outdoors? Or you do
In-
greenhouses, right?
Greenhouse, yeah.
Right.
Our 3 full-time assistant growers returned this week, so that was pretty exciting to get the full team back. They joined the 4 of us full year. So it's been nice to have like a crew, you know.
Yeah. We started just this week. We started some of our seasonal workers back. It was like, oh yeah, the farm starts to come alive again. It's not just us talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
Sorry, just circling back a little bit to Chip. Is Chip continuing to farm, or was he debating retirement?
I didn't hear it officially, but I have a sense that he's cutting back at least.
Yeah, okay. So that's awful. All right. How about you, Steve? Is anything in the greenhouse?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff started. Nothing's up too high yet. Except the fuel bill.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh, the mice ate our destroyed the wiring on our Modines in the greenhouse. So
Oh.
we just put a new motherboard in it and still not working. So anyway,
Yeah, we have lots of traps right now.
Yeah, let's do.
They actually ate our oven in the kitchen of the barn. They didn't eat the oven, but they ate all the insides. So we had to get a new oven installed today.
oh my
Oh.
God, that happened to our the stove in the farmhouse. I toasted some toast a couple days ago, and the house stunk high hell. They must have been living in the insulation in the behind it, so we probably have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Put some mothballs in the fall.
Good idea.
Yeah, does anybody feel like the rodent pressure is just like exponentially worse?
Yeah, there's a good amount.
Ted's like, yes. I've never like our crew room that we don't have a stove in there, but just it feels like there's like way more damage than there normally is, and just around the whole farm it just feels way worse. And I don't know if it's just because like the river's so high, like they all got like all their homes got filled up with water, so they're just higher up the hill now. But it's not a lot of fun.
Okay.
All right. Well, does anybody else have any news that we should talk about?
Next week I'm starting the rollout plan at the Minuteman National Park, which has been the bulk of what I've been working on, trying to create a plan. We're putting in a bunch of plots and getting lots of compost and all that. So pretty exciting. We're expanding the farm by doubling the space.
Yeah, that's a big
Where,
expansion.
where,
Wow.
where are you doing?
It's right by Battle Road, where the Minuteman Trail is, near do you guys remember First Routes?
Yes, yes.
It's the big white house, the
Yeah.
Carty barn.
Yeah.
Mm,
The old Maplewood farm
Maplewood Farm.
with the cow barn?
Norwoods, Norwalk.
Yes,
Sure. Is that it's got the big silo.
yes,
uh,
yeah. That was Maplewood when I was a kid.
Cool. So yeah, and they're working on the barn now too,
Nice, nice.
refurbishing it. But so it's the plot literally like right next to it where I remember First Root was growing
Right.
on.
Laura Sackton. So will you use the barn, Mark?
We're gonna use some garage bays in the other structure. I'm not sure how we're gonna work it with the barn. Right now, we're on a license. And so the hope with the national park is that they're gonna start, they're looking for someone who will come on to be the lease writer for the national park. So that way, a lot of the farmers can get leases and have a little more security, especially when you're like building up the soil fertility and such. So right now we're on a license, a 3-year license, and we're hoping to get a 5-year license next. And then hopefully once they get hire someone for the lease, then we could do that. But they're pretty excited that we're there, which is nice. They're happy to have Gaining Grounds systems come there, and a lot of rules about like keeping it very pastoral, especially being right there on Lexington Road. So it's been an interesting time meeting with them, and but yeah, exciting.
Are you going to be able to put hoop houses?
We're not going to be able to put hoop houses. No, that's one of the stipulations. We can do row cover. We can even put in a deer fence, a permanent one, and we can do peach trees, but yeah, we won't be able to do hoop houses. So we're treating it like a satellite field. So we're going to grow a lot of winter growing. It's going to expand our winter growing to help with people who need food during the winter time, so that we can't grow at Virginia Road. And then we'll see how we progress from there.
Mark,
If
do
we
you know?
do, okay. I was just gonna say, when you do get a lease agreement, then you're able to lease the structures. When you're on a license or a permit, you don't have like structural capabilities. Like there's the old farm stand there, there's a cooler in there, and we can't use that until we get a lease. And it's the same with the barn, but we are able to use a garage bay, which is helpful.
What are you thinking of doing for a deer fence?
We're gonna do, well, the hope is to do what we have at Virginia Road now, which I think is a 12-foot, all painted black wire with big thick posts. There's a company that they use that I've been putting a quote together. That will be for year 2. This year until we get to grow out of every area, we'll be doing a lot of cover cropping. This year we're growing on 3 plots, which consist of 18 80-foot beds each. So we're just going to put like movable deer fence around each one, just to get started, get some food going while we're building the soil. But yeah, it's been fun to like plan all this, like a blank slate. And now next week we're finally able to get in there, break some ground.
I was gonna ask you, Mark, do you know what's happening across the street from there? There's like flowers up and like a sort of road that goes back into the woods, but it's not a road. Do you know what that
Yeah,
is?
I'm not sure. I will investigate though.
They
It's
used to
like they're
get-
cutting through the trees, through the woods and going, yeah, I've seen that too. I'm not sure what that is.
There
Drive
used to
by
be an old road back there. Maybe they opened it up, or because I was walking there many years ago, and there was a road sign in the middle of the woods there.
Oh, really? It's just funny because when you're coming down that road, it looks like somebody's trying to make a driveway or something
Yes,
back in
yeah.
the woods. And then there's like a bunch of like, I don't know, I drove by the other day and it was like flower wreaths were all tied up outside it. And I was wondering what was going on.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Neat. I'm going to go look.
I don't know. I was like, oh, is there something happening? I was either thinking either something happened or did someone die was my other sort of thought. Like, oh God, is this a memorial? But I don't know. Anyway, just curious.
Yeah, let's all go check it out.
I'll be nosy. Well, that's very cool, Mark.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else has anything that exciting going on.
Hmm.
Doubling the size of their farm.
We got our tractor ready to go. It was delivered.
Steve, are you going to put tomatoes again on Sudbury Road?
I think so. We've been debating whether to try a second year with them there or not. It worked out great last year.
Right.
I think we probably will.
Melissa's joining us.
Hey, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey.
Oh,
Hi.
Melissa, hello.
Sorry, I'm late.
Good. We're just talking about news. You got any news?
Nope, not a lot of news.
Sounds good.
The
Are we
Well,
ready?
tell
to
us,
move on?
no, wait. Tell us about your greenhouses. Stuff growing?
high tunnels, we do have stuff growing. We have spinach and kale mix and arugula and overwintered snapdragons mostly.
Interesting.
So yeah, we did overwintered snapdragons last year and they worked out well, so we did more.
Neat.
But right now they look like just like they did last year, which is that they would never make a flower. They look like a half dead plant, but they revive and
That's wild.
yeah.
Interesting.
You guys ready to move on to the spring forum update? Yes, I'm getting some nods.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, spring forum update. So we have secured Erin Lane for April 11th at the library. She will be virtual, presenting live, and we will have our farmer panel there live in person. The library can do this kind of technology, so they seem quite comfortable with it. They do it apparently often. I'm hoping that we can have both, not only just her live, but like other people could join by Zoom and listen as well. So we'll see. Let me pull up, hold on. So Erin was going to, so she is with the USDA Northeast Climate Hub. And she's like a partnership between the USDA and the Forest Service. But sort of she gave a basic outline of what she was thinking about, but she is open to suggestions of things she should talk about. Her basic outline was, explain what the Climate Hub is and what they do, and then go over how climate is changing in the Northeast, specifically like temperatures, growing precipitation, flooding, drought, and then go over some of the impacts to agricultures. And she was obviously the farmers can tell a much more personal story about what's happening in Concord, but just give an overview of what's happening sort of across New England. She was also then going to talk about some of the strategies farmers have been adapting, and then just go over some like resources and tools of ways different people can access them on the internet too. Is there anything else we'd like her to talk about?
What else does she know?
I mean, it seemed like a comprehensive list to me. I don't know. I mean, I think if she goes over this and, we can have a little Q&A with her, but then if we sort of turn it over to a farmer panel where we're talking about what has been happening in Concord in terms of how we've been feeling climate change and particular strategies that different farms have started to adapt to use. I know we've talked about Steve said he would be on the panel, Dan and Brian, maybe hoping to convince Melissa or Mark to join that panel. Just throwing it out there gently.
So
But we at least we have some people wanting to talk about sort of how this has been sort of what we've been dealing with and what are some ways of modifying how we farm. The result. We do need a title for this. Does anybody have any suggestions?
I better be careful. Emily's here, so I can't make something too flippant.
I did know that.
can't-
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say that this year's National Ag Day has a theme. I remember I had something to do with climate, so I just didn't know if it was worth just state what that theme name is, and maybe I don't know, playing off it somehow.
Yeah. Like I could Google it.
Yeah, I'm Googling right now. Oh, growing a climate for tomorrow. Agriculture, growing a climate for tomorrow.
Oh,
But maybe it's just a way to get our flow going.
mhm.
Do you think they'd mind if we use the same name? I mean, it seems
Like they care.
intriguing enough.
I mean, we're not really growing a climate. We are growing.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, yeah.
Growing vegetables for today
And we hope tomorrow.
and tomorrow. Or making a Noah's Ark.
Let's see.
I mean, can we just say something like local climate changes and your farmers, or like?
Yeah, because I think that like is as explicit as possible to attract people to want to listen to the discussion.
Say that again, Liza.
I don't remember what I just said. I think I just said something like local climate changes or climate changes and your local farmers.
Or like local farmers adapt to climate changes or something like that.
Growing with climate change?
Growing with climate change.
That's a good idea.
I like that one.
I love that.
Me too.
Me too.
Well, that was a
I'm
winner.
attempting to grow with climate change.
We
That's
could
good
totally.
for every year.
I think that was great, Steve. If we do like growing with climate change, like ... a presentation by Aaron Lane and a discussion with your local farmers.
Sounds great.
It even sounds optimistic.
It does.
Yeah.
Great. Everybody seems pretty positive on that one. Sound good?
That's great.
Good title.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve. All right. In terms of timing, she can talk for as long as we want her to talk. She can talk for an hour, 45 minutes, something like that, and then we can have the panel afterwards. The library suggested like a 5:30 start time. We can have the space until we have to basically wrap up the event by 7:30 because they close at 8 and they want like a half hour to clean it up. Is 2 hours a good time frame to include both of these things? I don't remember how the spring forum went last year. I think was that about how long it took, or were we less?
I don't think we can go longer than that. I think that's maximum probably.
Okay. Is 5:30 good? Should we start it at 6 or is 5:30? I don't know. What do you think?
I thought we had done it later, but and it was maybe too late, but it was like 6:30 or something last time.
And that was sort of based on the fact that, at least in this situation, we didn't have the deadline on the other end.
I mean, I don't think 5:30 is not bad. I would like, she was like start after 5 for sure. So because people
Mhm.
wrap up their work.
Do you think
Yeah,
it's for
but-
people to get there for a 5:30 as opposed to a 6, or it's probably pretty much the same thing?
Probably pretty much the same, I guess. You know, the Emerson parking lot is also, there's more parking at 5:30. So
I don't know whether they expect a meal at that time.
Yeah.
talk about snacks, huh?
Are you providing a meal, Steve?
Well, if you started at 5:30, the farmers usually have their tables, right? With information and whatnot, and people could come at 5:30, mill about, and the speaker could start at 6.
Or even 5:45 or something, just have like a buffer 15.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. I actually did not ask the library about their snacking policy, but if we can bring snacks,
Yeah,
good idea.
definitely.
I will ask them.
Could we do like forum starts at 5:30 and presentation at 5:45? That way people know they've got a little window and they're not walking in late.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Social hour, social 15 minutes
Yeah.
before speaker.
Come meet your farmers at 5:30.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Is that you, Happy?
Wasn't me.
No,
Well, if we start at 5:45, she talks for about 45 minutes to an hour. That puts us at 6:45-ish, which still gives us about, 45 minutes to have like a pretty good panel discussion, which hopefully we get questions and
Mhm.
people show up and ask us things. In terms of the panel, I think it would be, I know Brian's not on the call, but I can email you guys separately, but maybe we sort of pre-plan a little bit about, so if there's certain topics we should hit on, like
Mhm.
particularly how each farm is sort of dealing with their particular issues in climate change, whether that's, are they changing their field rotation? Are they using more hoop houses? Like using more cover crops in certain, whatever the topic we need to, just making sure you guys hit on all the different stuff that we want to hit on. But we can probably have that discussion over email. We don't have to do that here. Then I can also include Brian.
Sure.
Is that okay? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, and I will ask about snacks. If we are allowed snacks, is there volunteers to bring some stuff?
We'll bring snacks.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, I can pick stuff up.
Great.
Yeah.
we can bring something.
You can too, Steve. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, I will email you guys once I find out the snack situation.
Okay.
And then other than that, I think, is there anything else we forgot to cover about the spring forum? We have a speaker, that's the most important part.
I was just looking at an email from last year. It was 7 to 8:30, so an hour and a half.
Oh, that sounds.
So maybe in theory, you could start at 6.
We could start at 6 then. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we do that? How does everyone feel about that?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sure.
we could put it, we also could word it like 5:30, like come and meet your farmers, and then 6 o'clock presentation starts, and then panel discussion afterwards. We could like map it out for people so they know they have time to get there. Okay.
I think that's good. I think that's helpful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Joe, Mary did bring up that there's a community garden meeting on the 11th for Rogers Community Garden.
Yes. Okay.
Did you see that email from her?
Oh, for the Rogers Garden, yes.
Do you think they can move that if we ask them politely?
Oh. Because that would conflict with, that's the same date as our spring forum. Okay, all right.
I mean, I don't know what time that meeting is. Mary just emailed me about it, so.
Okay, I hadn't noticed that. Okay. Yeah.
They might like to attend.
Yes.
Maybe they're our target.
We'll give them a discount.
Yeah. I think the library is going to help a lot with promotion. So we don't, I think, need to come up with like a graphic this time. I think they will do that for us, I'm hoping. And I did also, it's already on.
Sorry.
Oh,
Like
Do they want pictures or something though?
yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
If you guys have any photos you want to send me that I could send them of just some farming pictures, like if I don't know, some horrible rain photos, like whatever, that maybe they can pick some stuff out of, or we can use for just like social media stuff as well, promoting it. They do want to start promoting this like tomorrow, so like maybe tonight, tomorrow morning. You can do it sooner rather than later. They want to get stuff circulating pretty quickly to drum up interest, which is great, and I'm glad they're willing to do that. I think that was it. Oh, and I did get it. It is on the town calendar. They're gonna like do a little expand, but they already did get it on the town calendar. And it'll go up on the library calendar probably tomorrow, as soon as we give them the title that we just came up with. Is there anything else that we forgot about the spring forum that we forgot to plan? Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Should we move on?
Fine.
All right. Oh, one more thing about the spring forum. Do we want to do like have tables like we've done before for different farms and they can bring stuff? Like I know Shimonis, you guys brought some stuff. I think Steve brought some stuff last time. Brian brought some plants. Oh, Grace, you're muted.
Will there be enough room in there for tables for displays with chairs and setup?
I've only been in that room once. I can ask them. It may be less than we are used to at the Harvey Wheeler Center.
See, I think so too, because it's a really small space. And I think tables, although it's a great idea, I think it could get crowded.
And if we have snacks, those are probably.
Yeah.
I actually think it's pretty big. I mean, it can be divided in two. The League of Women Voters has had events there with tables and speakers, and most recently up to 50 people in the audience.
Plus
Well,
60.
there's always the option of having the tables outside for the displays.
Okay.
Just what they
That's
had.
another possibility. Yeah.
Well, if like the farms have interest in doing it, I will ask the library about how we can make it work.
Yeah, I'll check with Avery is our volunteer coordinator. She would probably be interested in sharing some of what Gaining Ground does, if it is possible.
Yeah.
I bet we could probably get enough farms to make it worth the while.
Yeah, we could share a table. It's no problem.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we don't have to have like huge displays.
No.
Like, just like a little bit, just some info.
Or just everything on one so everyone can just kind of walk by and
and see.
Yeah, I will ask the library.
Lois has a question.
Oh yeah, hi Lois.
Yeah, I think it was the Land Trust and some of the pollinators and some of that crew did some, and they had small tables across the back, or like shared tables, small spaces, but just enough to say hello and show your presence. And that worked out quite well. And we basically that night, I forget what it was sold out. They were the last minute, like some people didn't come. I mean, that one you had to have a seat. You had to register ahead and have a seat for. But that worked out really nicely. And it was a little crowded, but it was kind of fun. Just make sure you have sturdy, what do you call them, easels or whatever, because they. Yeah. Actually, I have a couple table easels that somebody could borrow if they wanted.
Thank you.
They're just small. They're I use them for pollinators, but if somebody wanted to borrow a couple, and they even have lights. One side is that the kind of writing board, and the other is cork board. So, yeah. Well, I finally said I've had it trying to put things together, just bite the bullet, buy it, and get it over with. So if somebody lets me know ahead of time, I'll clean off my pollinator stuff, and you may borrow them.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Cool. All right, so we'll ask the library about that and about snacks. Okay. I think that's it for the spring forum. I think we're good. Otherwise, and everybody's coming, right?
Yep.
Okay. In terms of promotion, I know the library is doing a lot of it. Obviously, we'll do it on social media and stuff. And if we get stuff, you guys we'll send it to you, and you can send it out to your farm lists and whoever else you feel the need or want to invite. Is there any particular thing, aside from the community garden heads, is there any other particular groups we should be reaching out to?
What about Lois might take care of them, the pollinator task force.
Steve, he's the
And
Steve's the liaison. I just show up. Steve's the liaison.
We can email them. Yep.
Yeah, could do that.
I think last time that no one from the natural resource could make it, but they were interested, so I could email Delia, and then also the Clark Farm folks are always interested, so I'll let them know.
That'd be great, Melissa.
I'll wait. Do we have any little like blurb, or at least when we have the title written down or something?
Hopefully we'll have it tomorrow.
Okay, great.
I think the library will probably, if I just give them the title and a few other things and like give them a little bio of the presenter, I think they'll put it up online, and then we can probably pass around a link or something.
Yeah.
But also we can just make some, like, if you guys send me some photos or a couple other things, they're probably going to make some graphics or something that we can also send around. Cool. All right. I think we can all of that. Moving on. Bag fee exemption, Article 30 update. It's a real quick update. I did the public preview meeting. I gave a presentation there. I think it's now 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. It went very well. No one had any questions. So Mary is very hopeful that it will go on the consent calendar and we won't have to present at town meeting. And it's kind of non-controversial, and everybody who hears it just goes, yeah, that makes sense. So it's pretty straightforward. So that's the update on that one.
Nice. Great.
Good job, Liza.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks. I don't like public speaking, so I was glad it was 90%. I don't know how many people were listening anymore.
I saw it. She did too good.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Switching forward, next thing, Ag Day 2024. So we have our signed permit for the light plant banner. We have the week of Ag Day, which is, so Ag Day is September 7th this year. We will have it September 2nd through the 9th up across Main Street. Happy, are you willing to doctor it again with the correct date?
I'll take it under advisement.
Thank you. No promises. I have it. It's in the Hutchins Farm office. Thank you. The window display at the bookstore, they fill up quick. So the only one they had left was August 19th through August 26th. So I took it. So it's a little earlier than we would have liked, but that's what was available. I think we talked about last week that hoping that perhaps the Shimonis and Happy would be interested in doing it again. You don't have to, but we talked about it.
We'll do it.
Oh my God, you're great. Thank you.
Yep, we'll do it.
You guys did a beautiful job last year. That was super
Oh,
cool.
gorgeous.
Really. And if you guys need any help setting up, taking down, just let me know because I'm happy to help.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I will email you guys the dates just so you have
Yes,
them.
please.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Other than that, I think Ag Day right now is rolling along fine.
I just have to say I'm impressed. It's March. You have the bookstore nailed down. You have the banner permitted. I'm in awe.
We're at it. Let's do 2025.
I'm just trying to get it all done before we start for the season, and I have no time anymore.
Right. Do you know who has the window after we have it?
I don't know who has it then. I know it was. I did get the inside scoop from Dawn on that we can email her the week after Ag Day. It will open up for Ag Day next year. So if I email her immediately afterwards, we could probably reserve it for the next year. But we weren't quite fast enough. I thought February for sure would be no problem. Apparently it is.
Do you want me to ask Leonard if he'll do the entertainment again?
Oh yeah. Do you think you would? I think
the most I can do is ask.
That would be lovely, Grace.
Okay, I can do that.
He's quite fun. I know last year he ended up, I think, in a place he was happy with the shade, but it was so humid last year.
It was
so awful.
It was
bad for him.
crazy. It was crazy hot.
Yeah. So I don't know how pleasant that was, no matter if you were in the shade or not, because it was.
It was not. It was not a pleasant time. It was just not. Yeah, and I think, I'll ask again, but I think he wanted like a space where he could sprawl his
more.
I don't know what you'd call them, but if he had like a table or anything, so if he could be more than just like a little teeny tiny spot, I think if he could allot when you map him out just a little bit bigger space, I think he'd appreciate that.
I think we can too. I think the spot I had him in before, he was worried about the sun. And
Yeah.
ended up moving into an area, like he moved into the like that monument area that's under the trees a little bit, which we don't have control over that. So I told him, like, I can't you could be here until someone tells you to
can't
move.
say yes.
I can't say yes, but I'm like, that's on you.
Nope.
And I can't plan for him to be there, but if he's there, I don't think anybody's gonna tell him to go away.
I don't think so either.
And I think that actually is a pretty good space for him, because it made like the kids could sit in the shade, like it was more spread out, but I can't plan on him being there.
No.
But I think I can plan on him being like right in that area, and then him just moving into there.
Gradually just kind of encroach on it.
Exactly.
Move a little that way. Yeah.
Like not officially he's not there, but
just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But definitely ask him if the space he ended up in, if that worked out okay, then we can kind of plan on it without actually planning on it.
Okay.
Unless the memorial committee has something planned there that we have no control over.
Okay. All right. I will email him.
He was great, and it's always fun. The kids.
It's always fun. It's always good.
Cool. Is there anything else about Ag Day we should talk about? moving along. Stone Soup Dinner brainstorming session. Steve, you want to give a little intro to this?
Yeah, two aspects, I guess, to consider. One is what funds would be used for, and the other is how to make it come off without being a burden on farmers or restaurants or anybody involved. It might be a different format or something. And one possibility would be as a promotion of Concord agriculture in relation to the 250th and maybe a float in the parade or something like that. If we came up with something that required some investment, that could be taken care of, I think. And down the road, what additional funds might be used in a way to benefit Concord farms. Go to it.
So Steve, so are you thinking of a dinner this year or?
Well, that's what we're talking. I guess the question of how it's going to work. So the restaurants are pretty much stressed, and maybe it could be an easier format or not. But then beyond that, what's the purpose of it's a fundraiser, and what would the funds be for? There is a fair amount in the bank right now.
Steve, do you have to have a dinner every year under the terms of Stone Soup
No, I don't think so. I mean, we didn't have anything during COVID.
Right. But you have money that you basically need to distribute. Is that?
Yeah, they do. I just have an in to the committee.
Right. Yeah.
Is there a way that we could return to the original Stone Soup format?
Which was what?
It could.
Well, I remember when we first came here that I believe you had to bring your own knife and fork and spoon and plate. And I think some people even may have brought goodies to be cooked. It was a soup, it was not a dinner.
Right. I remember one at Buttrick Mansion, but I don't recall bringing,
Right.
Was that when we brought our knife and spoon?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a lot of fun if we have a huge kettle we could put on a tripod over a fire and everybody brings some stuff and put in, but then you run into problem with timing and a problem with the health inspector probably.
Well, maybe you could bring stuff for the pot and bring your own sandwich or something and sit around picnic style and pay $100 for the privilege.
I mean, if any restaurants were going to make some food for it, could they just be paid and the fundraiser makes less money than the total tickets, so that they're not having to donate their time?
I guess that would be a possibility probably. I mean, we have had several of them in huge tents with several hundred people sitting. And I guess it was buffet. I don't think it was ever served at the table.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine, is it good publicity for the restaurants also? I would think it would be, but
I think it is. I don't know whether they feel it's good enough to cover the effort to it, but they've been cooperative. But I think we should be thinking more about the purpose of it and what the funds will be for and how they be used and what's needed.
it's going to be for this big 250th float that you're gonna pull behind one of your tractors, Steve.
It could be. But it strikes me that if we picked up a old one-horse plow and a mannequin dressed up as a Minuteman and a BB gun, why, there would be a somewhat representation of the Minuteman that certainly has a tie to agriculture with a coat hanging on the plow and all.
Yep.
How do you feel about dressing up, Steve? In a Minuteman costume.
It'd be a long ride. You have a beard for it.
Well, I don't know. I think we should have Brian do it.
He's not here. We can volunteer him.
Right. Or Ted.
Don't make-
I do it in a minute. I'm a Revolutionary War buff. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Done.
A volunteer here.
Oh, I was, well, okay.
Be careful, Ted. Be
Committed
careful. What you
myself.
volunteer for. I mean, I think it's good. We, for the purpose of using the money, like it's really like what we did last year, where we did a couple ads in the paper and supporting Ag Day in terms of promotion of farms around town and agriculture. I think it's really, really helpful because we, like the Ag Committee can't raise money. It doesn't have a budget. So like to do things that we have ideas for, it's really nice to be able to turn to this other organization and say, hey, I've got a great idea.
We could do maybe 2 events during the summer like that
Yeah.
somewhere and get them to go around to the different farms and
Yeah, I agree. I think the like joint advertising, sort of just keeping the things that adds up, and having Stone Soup be able to finance it would also help keep like all the farms involved. Like instead of people having to choose to pay, like I think there was another ad that we did where each person had to choose to pay, but if we had them, the Stone Soup money sort of just promoting all the farms in town, I feel like is a great use of the money, and it's not huge amounts, but it adds up if it's every year.
Perhaps this goes back to the spring forum. Does that mean that if Stone Soup were willing to support us in that way, could we use money to bring in and maybe a more prestigious, not necessarily less knowing, but a prestigious speaker?
That's a good point. Because right now we've been only at like whoever can do it for free.
Yeah.
Whereas if we could pay somebody, we probably could get a bigger name.
Yeah.
Something to consider for next year.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the idea of being in the 250 parade, I don't know how far along they are in the planning of that, but doesn't that make really good sense? Such an agricultural place in 1775. And I went to a presentation by one of the park rangers recently, and I think there was an age limit for Minutemen, and so it would probably need to be some youngish person.
Are you calling Steve old?
No, she's talking about me.
And it is true that it was a man, the Minuteman, but
should we have the Minute Maiden?
but anyway, I'm really digressing. I'm just hoping very much it would make such sense. The 250 committee should be approaching us, you all, to say, be in our parade.
I think they do want us in the parade. I don't know if the parade committee recently has talked about it, but previously they had been very interested in the ag committee doing something, maybe doing a event in conjunction, like something. We sort of batted around the idea here a little bit too about doing an event around the 250th, whether that be, but we sort of ran out of ideas, but some sort of, was it a talk or was it something, you know, like some sort of way to honor the farmers or.
Well, that could be next year's spring forum.
Yes.
It is in a year, April.
God, yeah, it is.
Oh,
Keep forgetting that it's 2024.
So Steve, for Stone Soup, has the committee been meeting to try to decide what to do? And they asked you to bring it up?
Yeah, right.
Do you like the idea of more ads, Steve?
No, I think that works well, but be nice with something a little more spectacular too. I think that could.
fireworks over the farms.
Leonard can do that too.
Well, I think the idea about doing something around the 250th seems really fitting, and that's only next year, apparently. So, yeah, is there a way we could have an event that's somehow both connected to the 250th and to current farming as well? You know,
Well, if everybody thinks about it, I guess Liza could collect ideas from anybody that has them. And I guess we could talk one-on-one with each other, but not a group of 3 or something.
correct, Steve?
Yeah, I
Right.
think Liza
You see all these little cells or sects around,
I think that's a great idea. But I do think if we could set it that way. If anybody has any brilliant ideas, please send them to me and I can send them over.
So maybe, Liza, do you think this should be kind of something that we start planning and start talking about at each meeting? Or?
Yeah, I think it's. But I think
it should be planned soon if we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Just to even get a spot in the parade.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ted? Hey, Ted.
Hey, I'm here. Sorry.
Put yourself on mute.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry. I'm attending to my dog. Sorry.
There we go.
Yeah, so the 250th plan.
Do you guys ever make like a Google Doc that we could all like communicate on, like a topic like this, or is that something like next level? Not.
We can't do it because of the open meeting laws.
Okay.
That's the tricky part, because I was on another committee that tried to do that and got ixnayed. It would be nice, but because of the open meeting laws, we can't have discussions that make decisions outside of this. We can't really have discussions where more than 3 people are discussing.
Oh, that was where that came from. Oh, wow.
Even if they don't make the decisions.
If they don't make a decision, you can't discuss ag committee topics. Like it's because of open meeting law in the town of Concord.
So 4 of us couldn't get together and say, gee, that was a really great ag meeting this week.
Yeah.
Not unless you post it ahead of time.
But you can all like so you can communicate with like me or somebody, like you can send me an idea and then I can collect them all and then I can come back to the group and we can have a discussion about it. But it does mean things happen a lot slower sometimes if we don't like appoint a subcommittee or something to it, which we could also do, is have a subcommittee who's dealing with this.
Want to do that?
Anybody want to be on the subcommittee?
I'll nominate Steve.
Oh, man.
Committee of 1.
Committee of 1.
So can you talk to yourself?
As long as you don't answer.
Well, I think good idea to start collecting ideas and talk about it, and find out just what whether the town has done anything that would logically we would fit into or would already have been decided and not available to us, or
I mean, we had also talked briefly about, this was back when we were, I think last year we were talking about ideas for the 250th. We talked about like having like antique farming equipment, like sort of like a little, I don't know, demonstration, like horse-drawn something, like where could we find somebody who would do something like that? I don't know if we came up with any answers of where we could find somebody who could do something like that, but that would be really cool, I think, and would be.
Do you think Billy Kenny would do something like that? He has horses and he has a whole bunch of antique equipment.
I don't know, I was so disappointed a few years ago at one of our events. I had somebody come with a one-horse plow and plow a field by the stand there. He was doing a beautiful job. And I've forgotten whether there were 2 or 3 people watching him.
Oh,
People didn't go. I thought it'd be a crowd around and they just didn't go to it.
Oh,
I wonder if we could make something like that, like also like almost like country fair-esque, like if we did like a vegetable carving competition and like a couple other things, and then did like demos as well. That's too much
It
work.
is in April.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right.
I mean, the celebration itself, is it a week long? Is it a month long? Is it like I don't know.
long.
Yeah, I don't know what all the other kind of events or what else would be possible.
There's stuff going on the whole year, really leading up to it. So starting this year, there'll be some events I think happening. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff the month of April. Like there's going to be like a quilt show and like just like events happening, some ongoing events that are happening, and then I just think other events outside the week of actually Patriots Day.
So does it end in April?
That's a good question. I don't know if it keeps going.
I think they plan to stretch it out a little more.
Yeah.
But when are, the estimates were for like a whole ton of people to come? Is that like on Patriots Day? Because
Yeah.
okay.
It's like that Patriots Day and like the couple days surrounding it, I think. But
Okay.
maybe like Patriots Day. Yeah. Which is still like, I don't know the estimates that they
We
are.
need to go ahead and schedule the spring forum, my dears.
Good point.
Or maybe we'll be doing some, if we're like busy with stuff for that, maybe I'll just be instead of the spring forum next year.
That's true. It may be like not, yeah, it may be full.
Right.
Could we do something like an indoor farmers market, but not farmers market, just like an indoor thing where we set up booths and celebrate the agriculture but like be indoor if it's in the cooler times?
I think we do a plant sale one year? Yes, Happy's nodding.
Oh.
I don't think so.
It was a few years ago, I think.
It was a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Like 10 plus years ago.
As opposed
Yeah,
to
I don't think I was
or-
here.
I don't think I was there either.
I feel like, am I crazy? I feel like it was in like the Concord Depot parking lot. Am I nuts?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes, it was. It was
Huh?
the TV game. I wanted to say it was like 92 or something like that. Yeah, it wasn't the Concord, yeah, it wasn't the Concord Depot parking lot.
How did it go?
great. It was so successful. We've been doing it all the time.
Ever since?
I don't know what it was, but no, I remember going. But
I feel I think my memory was that this is again my memory, so this is a real stretch because if it was 1992, I was like 10. So
yeah, no, I remember because my aunt came from Italy that year and she was with us
You're
there.
right.
Yeah,
oh my god.
yeah, she was
Right.
with us.
But I think there was at some point there was an idea of doing like a spring farmer's market that was like plants, and then doing like a farmer's market in the fall that
In
was
the
like
fall.
veggies. And I
Yeah, 'cause
don't
we had Indian corn, we had colored corn there.
Yes, but if you remember too, we also had something in West Concord where a new leaf is now.
Oh,
Cause I think it was us, it was Colonial Gardens. It might have been. It might have been
think that
Arenas
Arena
too.
was
It
there
might have
too.
been Arenas, cause they still had their stand at that point. And I can't remember if there was a fourth or a fifth. It might have also been Millbrook too.
I just remember the discussion around why the plant sale eventually, like people were not, the plant sale was too volatile, depending on the weather,
Yes.
spring, whereas like the farmer's market in the fall, even if it was raining, people were still kind of there. But like it's too hard to sell plants when it's April and
It really is, and you can get like a blowy day and your stuff just like gets trashed.
But so in my memory, that's the only thing we've done that's like another selling event.
But we're having climate change now.
It's true. I will tell you, the May farmers market.
There's some sarcasm here.
Yeah, indoor does seem safer in April.
I mean, we also like the hard part about for us, even us in April, we don't have that much stuff to sell. Like
Right.
even our plants aren't really ready until most like mid-May.
We tell people not to plant plants in April because it's too cold.
Too cold. We like, keep telling them stop trying to buy things.
Yeah, so you can't buy the tomato. No, you can look
No.
at it and not no.
Yeah. But I wonder if there's like another event, even if it's not directly selling something, we could do.
Could it be like farmer, like quote unquote old timey games? I don't know what kind of games, but
Do you remember old games?
yeah, like
Carlisle, well, yeah, like Carlisle's
Yeah.
old home days. Don't they do like potato sack races and like?
yeah, maybe we could bid like farmer against farmer, have teams or the captains.
What about a tractor pull?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Some cow pies.
Yeah.
catching chickens.
There you go.
No,
Not allowed. A mutton busting? Okay, fine. Well, why don't we think about things? Why doesn't everybody mull it over? Email me some ideas, even if they seem like wildly outlandish. Why don't you email them to me anyway, and we can talk about them next time. And maybe we'll come up with something cool.
what
Happy.
about perhaps getting one of these people that's supposed to be in charge of that committee, give us some insights?
Right.
Yes, next time.
Who's in charge of which committee?
The celebration. committee.
Oh, the 250th. Okay.
Just that maybe we get some ideas since we're out fishing here.
Yeah, just so we can maybe be complimentary.
Why don't I reach out? I'm technically on one of these committees, and I have not attended a single meeting the past 6 months, so I guess I could start again. I'll reach out. I don't know the celebrations committee. I don't know who's on it, but I can find the head. And then in terms of Stone Soup, I mean, this is like ways to spend Stone Soup's money, but we also probably should be talking about what should Stone Soup be doing to raise money if they're not necessarily having something similar to what they did before. Is there another way they can have a fundraiser that involves local food and local restaurants, but maybe have it be a little bit different? You guys can all email me your thoughts on that one too.
Hey,
So I think they're also interested in what direction it should go and how it'll be spent.
Yeah.
For
right, they've
this.
kind of Steve, are they trying to like spend it down and close it up, or are they?
Not necessarily, no, but um, it doesn't have much direction at this point, and
I mean, I think as a promotion of local agriculture, it's very, very helpful.
right, that's
I mean, it is a really, like, especially for this committee for Concord Agriculture, it is very helpful to have that, when we need a new map of all the farms in town, or,
Right.
just have like a place to go that we possibly can have money, because otherwise we wouldn't have any of these things.
Yeah. If we need to like rent a space for the celebration.
Yeah. And we have no mechanism for getting money other than people being nice to us. So it's very, I think, very helpful to local agriculture that it exists, but how to keep it going, I'm not sure. That was a good discussion. Let's continue the discussion. Send me your thoughts. We'll compile them. We'll send them to Steve, and then we'll talk about it more next time.
Just a quick thought. I know Mimi Graney has come to a number of events. She's kind of the economic, I don't remember her title, but I'm sure she's she might be a good resource for both the fundraising side and the how to spend the money side.
Yeah, I think Mimi would be great to talk to about this. Yeah. I'll shoot her an email. I'm sure she'll be interested too. She loves this stuff.
Yeah, she was like hoping to come up with, she was going to come up with grants for local businesses that you could apply for to like get a new display fridge or something. That she was working on that for future years. So it's kind of a similar thing.
Yeah, and I think she's been trying to work with the local businesses too, to get, like, if they need help getting ready for the 250th, like, help them do that too. Yeah. Great. We want to talk about Stone Soup anymore? No. Okay. Do we have any other business to talk about that we missed?
I have a list.
Oh, please.
One, has anyone heard any more about Mr. Kinney and his property and his whatever is going on? Second, what's happening with our ag seal? And third, are we yet to be in touch with the national park as a visitor?
I can start with some of these. The ag seal, I have talked to Donna. She was going to get back to me. I haven't heard back from her. I have never successfully gotten the national park to respond to me about attending a meeting, but now that we have Mark here who talks to them, perhaps we have an in.
Pretty regularly. What exactly would be the request?
Well, we have had the superintendent on our committee list, and it was always interesting to hear if they had something new, if they were thinking about, a new direction, or was there a piece of land opening up that everyone should know about? Just what's going on in the park, because I don't think anybody really knows what all the preparations are right now for the 250. The road gets paved, the lines get painted, and we're all going, wow, 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 but what else is going on?
Yeah, I'd be happy to put together an email and discuss those things. Margie and Kaya are my two contacts mainly. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, I think part of it is just like an invite to our meeting sometime. And in the past, if people like them, if they didn't have much time, they don't have to stay for the whole meeting. We could like have whenever they could make it be their part of the meeting where they check in.
Great.
I noticed they're doing a lot of work on the buildings now. They got a lot of money for that, I guess, and they're fixing up some of the houses and so on that have been a problem.
Yeah, I think-
Well, get that out to them.
Yeah, I think some, so also just to like, we'd like to meet them. That's really it. Just like, hi, we're your farmers in town. We'd just like to know who you are, and I'm sure you'd like to meet us.
Mm.
And I don't know what's going on with the Kenny property. Does anybody know?
I was talking to Billy a couple weeks ago, and he's still planning to sell his house eventually. They took it off the market now and going to put it back again in the spring. And he's planning to build a place near his daughter's in Lunenburg, I believe it is. But he still plans to continue farming there in the near future. And the land is, of course, owned by the town. And it was purchased with an agricultural restriction, I guess, on it, only by the town, not involving the state or APR, but it's supposed to stay in agricultural use, is my understanding. But I know a lot of other town departments have thought it would be a great place to do different things.
Do those restrictions ever expire? Like, is it after you've had it for X amount of years, then it's like up to?
No, I don't believe so.
So he's still going to be doing some farming there, though. This year.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
That's good. Anybody else have any business that we forgot about? Nope. How about public comment?
Sure.
Hi, Lois.
Hello.
I heard on the street, and that's because I live in the neighborhood, that the groups of the 250th that meet at the Armory have really good snacks and beverages. It's not a town building, so the beverage part gets pretty good, I heard. You know, because I live like kind of just around the corner from there.
Do you ever attend these meetings?
No, I just heard this. Too late. And this is, you know, this is beyond my bedtime, even this, so that would be definitely too far.
Do we have a volunteer to go snoop at these meetings?
Yeah, we'll
an
send
open
you as our
meeting.
spy.
It's an open meeting. It's actually, it's part of the open meeting. I think it's some of the main parts of it, but one of my neighbors was talking about it, and I said, I got to tell you guys, because I think that is a hoot. That, you know, they have wine and cheese apparently at the Armory.
Alcohol.
Hey, go for it, you know. So if you got, you know, the bag thing, if or whatever it was you're going, the 250th stuff, you know, you might as well go for the fun too.
I'll have to look into that. Thanks, Lois.
Well, like I said, it's right, you know, we're on the street, and I live like, you know, right in here in the area. So if are you inviting us for what is it, what do you call it, the forum, the spring forum? Are you inviting the pollinator people? Because for the pollinator people are just inviting us to invite us.
We have a
Are we
special
supposed
deal
to
for
do
that.
something? Are we supposed to do something? Because then I may have to retract one of my bulletin boards.
To do anything. You're invited, though. Please come.
Please come. Please bring your friends.
And
bring your friends. Bring the whole pollinator committee.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody, like, if you have stuff, I need beads or I have a lot of like kids stuff. what do you call them, the pipe cleaners and stuff. Give me a call before you go look for some, because I have a lot of stuff like that. If, for something you need, give me a buzz. And like trying to clean out my stuff here. I got too much stuff, but I have a lot of things like that. If somebody, has a farm related thing, especially that, they would like some for, give me a buzz. And the phone numbers, I can give you my phone number. And I'll give it to you after the meeting, and then it doesn't have to go in a letter record.
Don't put it on Zoom.
Yeah, because yeah, well, you can always call Isabel. She's the neighbor on the other side.
Lois, if you send me your phone number or email, and then somebody can ask me, and then I can give it to them, and then we won't have to
Okay.
put it
Okay, that's, yeah, I was just saying, I don't think that many people will call me, but whatever. But anyway, if you need any stuff like that, I'm welcome to give me a call, and occasionally I can be kind into making something too, but anyway, just
Thank
to
you.
let you know.
Awesome. Anybody else got any public comments? I think Lois is our public. All right. So next meeting I originally had set for April 11th, but now we have the forum that day, so that's not a great day for a meeting. Would we like to meet before the forum one more time, or we just want to meet afterwards and recap it?
Probably after.
Yeah, after.
After? We'd be looking at the 18th then of April.
Sounds
That
good.
works for us.
Getting some nods. Is that like,
Okay.
okay? Okay.
I have one more thing. I did look up for 2025. Easter Sunday is April 20th, and Patriots Day is Monday, April 21st.
Oh,
And I wouldn't have put the two together, except that, you let us come on the tour. And one of the farmers there was, getting ready with lots of Easter things. So, just don't get yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time, like, so to speak.
oh, that's good.
People who have Easter plants, that's pretty intensive. See, I learned that from the tour. Thank you.
No, that's good to keep in mind the holidays. Yeah.
Like some of that, I'm visual that way, and I wouldn't think of it. And I said, I wonder what Easter is. I said, compared to Patriots Day, and they're right next to one another next year, which is, doesn't always happen. So you might want to be careful about that for, business is business.
Yeah.
And it keeps you going.
Thank you.
I'll move we close.
That sounds
Sorry.
great.
Yeah.
You've seconded? Thank you guys so much. We'll see you at the spring forum. Meeting adjourned.